Hello, fourth grade. Welcome to Section Math today. We are going to be working on lesson 104. So you need to get out your math book, open it to page 660, a piece of paper and a pencil. Make sure that you have your book open to that page, and on the right-hand side of your paper, you have your name, the lesson number, and the date. Let's get started. So we are talking about fractions today. We're going to talk about changing improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. So I think first of all, we need to make sure that we understand fractions, what fractions are, and improper fractions, and then we can actually do this lesson. So let's take a look at that. So if we look over here, we have dealt with proper fractions. So we've dealt with numbers that are like 2/3. Remember, it has a numerator up here. And then we have a denominator down here. So just to review, we know these terms, right? Numerator on top, denominator on the bottom. When the numerator is smaller than the denominator, it's a proper fraction. So like 4 is smaller than 5, 6 is smaller than 8. Okay. So that's proper fractions. Now, when we are working with improper fractions today, that's these things, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we have a numerator of 3, a denominator of 2. So this is bigger than that, and as a result of that, we now have an improper fraction. So an improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. See how this is bigger, this is bigger, this is, and this is equal. And these are improper fractions. So what we're going to do is we're going to change these improper fractions to make them be whole numbers or mixed numbers. So you're probably like, what is she even talking about? Well, I am going to show you. So let's take a look. Make sure that you have your book open to page 662. And we're going to go right to the lesson practice. We'll go through these together, and then that'll help you know for sure what we're doing. So let's take a look. So what it says here on letter A, change each improper fraction to a whole number or a mixed number. Now, a whole number would be an example like, see how 5/5, that equals 1. So that's a whole number. Okay, a mixed number would be if you'd have like 2 1/3 or 4 6/7, something like that. So a mixed number is where you have a whole number and a fraction. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. It's either going to be just a whole number by itself or a mixed number, which is a whole number and a fraction. So let's get started. So it says change each improper fraction to a whole number or to a mixed number. Now that we know what they are, then draw a picture to show that the improper fraction is equal to the number you wrote. So it's actually pretty valuable. Sometimes I look at these and I'm like, is it really necessary? Yes, with this it is, because then it helps us understand, did we do the right thing? Okay? So let's look at letter A on page 662. And what we have here, I'll show you how to do it. Follow along, show your work. So letter A is 7/2. So what do? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this problem like a division problem with a remainder. So we're going to look at this as 7 divided by 2. So we are going to take the numerator, 7, divide that by the denominator, which is 2. 7 divided by 2. So 2 can go into 7 3 times. We put the 3 here. We say, remember how we do that? So then we go 3 times 2 is 6. And then we have remainder 1. So your mixed number would be 3. And then you're going to take your remainder over, your remainder is the numerator, and the denominator is what you divided the number by, 2. Okay, so now we have to show our picture to show that we got it right, that we know what we're doing. And then we're going to go back and see if this is the right thing. So 3 1/2. So what we're going to do is we take a look. The denominator means you have these shapes divided into twos, into halves. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we have a half here. We're going to divide them in half. And then this is all colored in 1, 2, 3, and then a half. So that's what it would look like. Now to check it, we need to go back. So letter A said 7 halves. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these were divided. So this would be correct because 7 of these are colored in and they are all divided into 2, which is 7 halves. So let's try letter B. So again, we look at it as a division problem. So we take the numerator, which is 12, and we divide 12 by 3. So we say 12 divided by 3 is 4, right? So we're like, wow, there's no remainder there. So now what I do, remember we are supposed to do this. It's either going to end up being a whole number or a mixed number. So if it ends up being a whole number, that's okay. So our answer that we got here was 4. Now we need to draw our picture. So let's do that now. So we look over here and remember how we got to look at our denominator, which for letter B is 3. So we need to have 3, 4. Divide these into 3. I'm going to put a little Y here. And then, why don't we use a colored one to color them in? That might make things a little bit easier. So we're going to color these all in. Please do this as well. Okay, so now we look over here. I'm just writing this down to check it. Everything is divided into 3s. Let's count how many we colored in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 thirds. That's right, isn't it? Okay. All right, let's go on with C. Kind of putting this here so we don't get confused. So letter C, we have 8 thirds. In other words, 8 divided by 3. So we'll go 8 divided by 3. 3 can go into 8 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. We subtract that and we get a remainder of 2. So our answer here is 2 and 2 thirds. So we need to have 3 shapes because we have 2 whole ones and then 1 fraction. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we'll do the Y again. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, I'm sorry, what am I saying? Not 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 thirds. So it looks like we got it correct. And remember, that is really good actually that happened. Because remember, you have to count, don't just count the spots, make sure you count what is colored. Okay? So you had 8 thirds. Last one we're gonna do is 15 fifths. So we say 15 divided by 5 is 3. Any remainder? No. So we are going to take a look and we have 1, 2, 3. We need to divide them in 5 sections. So we're going to go like this. Here we go. And let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fifths. And that is how you work with improper fractions. I hope that you understand this concept. It's basically just division. It's just a matter of knowing what numbers you're working with and where you put them. I hope you understand this lesson, 4th grade. You need to continue on with pages 662 through 665, numbers 1 through 30, and make sure that you try doing the early finishers, as that will give you some extra points. Have a great time, and let me know if you have any questions.